Nutrition plays a far more significant role in mental health than most people realize. While depression is often viewed through the lens of emotions, stress, or brain chemistry, the foods we consume directly influence those very systems. Scientific research has increasingly shown that diet affects inflammation, hormone levels, neurotransmitter production, gut health, and energy regulation, all of which are deeply connected to depression. Understanding the link between nutrition and depression is essential for supporting overall emotional well-being and building a strong foundation for healing. The brain is an incredibly demanding organ. Although it represents only about 2% of body weight, it uses roughly 20% of the body's energy. To function at its best, it requires a steady supply of nutrients such as vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, healthy fats, amino acids, and glucose. When a person's diet lacks these essential components, brain function becomes compromised. Depression often worsens when the brain is deprived of the building blocks it needs to regulate mood, concentration, motivation, and emotional stability. One of the most important nutrients for mental health is omega-3 fatty acids, found in foods such as salmon, sardines, flax seeds, walnuts, and chia seeds. Omega-3s support brain cell structure, reduce inflammation, and help regulate serotonin, a neurotransmitter strongly linked to mood. Studies have shown that low omega-3 levels are associated with higher rates of depression, and increasing omega-3 intake can improve emotional resilience and reduce depressive symptoms. Another crucial factor is the role of vitamins and minerals. Vitamin D, for example, influences serotonin production. Deficiency in vitamin D is extremely common, especially in individuals who spend little time in sunlight or live in cloudy climates. Low vitamin D levels have been strongly associated with depression. B vitamins, especially B6, B12, and folate play key roles in energy production and mood regulation. Deficiencies can lead to fatigue, irritability, and cognitive problems that mimic or worsen depression. Minerals such as magnesium, zinc, selenium, and iron are also essential for proper brain function. Magnesium helps regulate stress responses, zinc supports nerve communication, and iron is responsible for carrying oxygen to the brain. When these levels are low, emotional health suffers. Sugar and processed foods are major contributors to mood instability. Diets high in refined sugar and artificial additives can cause rapid spikes and crashes in blood sugar. These fluctuations affect energy levels, concentration, and emotional balance. Consuming too much sugar triggers inflammation and disrupts the microbiome, the community of microorganisms living in the gut. Chronic inflammation is linked to depression, and dysregulation in the gut can send distress signals to the brain through the vagus nerve. This is why people often feel foggy, anxious, or exhausted after eating unhealthy meals. Processed foods can also lack essential nutrients, leaving the brain undernourished even when calorie intake is high. The gut-brain connection is one of the most fascinating and important discoveries in mental health research. The gut produces up to 90% of the body's serotonin and communicates directly with the brain through the gut-brain axis. A healthy gut microbiome improves mood, digestion, immune function, and emotional resilience. When the gut is unbalanced due to poor diet, stress, antibiotics, or lack of fiber, serotonin production drops, inflammation increases, and depressive symptoms can worsen. Foods that support gut health include fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut, and kombucha, as well as high-fiber foods like vegetables, fruits, legumes, and whole grains. Protein is another key component of nutrition. Amino acids, the building blocks of protein, are necessary for producing neurotransmitters. Tryptophan, for example, is an amino acid that supports serotonin production. Foods rich in lean proteins such as chicken, fish, eggs, tofu, tempeh, beans, and nuts help supply the brain with these essential materials. Without enough protein, the brain struggles to produce the chemicals needed for emotional balance. Hydration is often overlooked, but dehydration can cause fatigue, headaches, irritability, and trouble concentrating, all symptoms that overlap with depression. The brain is 75% water. When the body is dehydrated, blood flow to the brain decreases and cognitive function declines. Drinking enough water each day supports mood regulation and energy stability. Caffeine and alcohol also play significant roles. While moderate caffeine can boost alertness, excessive use can increase anxiety, disrupt sleep, and worsen depressive symptoms. Alcohol, a depressant, temporarily numbs emotional pain but ultimately lowers serotonin levels, disrupts sleep, and intensifies depression. Many people use alcohol as a coping mechanism without realizing it worsens their mental health over time. One of the most effective nutritional approaches for depression is the Mediterranean diet, which emphasizes vegetables, fruits, whole grains, lean proteins, healthy fats, nuts, seeds, and olive oil. Research has shown that people who follow this diet have significantly lower rates of depression. This diet reduces inflammation, nourishes the brain, and stabilizes blood sugar levels. Another helpful approach is the anti-inflammatory diet, which reduces foods known to cause inflammation, such as processed meat, refined sugar, fried foods, and trans fats, and increases foods rich in antioxidants. It's important to note that while nutrition is a powerful tool, it is not a replacement for therapy, medication, or professional treatment when needed. Instead, nutrition supports the body and mind, helping individuals respond better to treatment, reduce stress, and improve overall well-being. Depression is a complex condition, and healing often requires a holistic approach that combines emotional, medical, and lifestyle strategies. Changing eating habits may feel overwhelming for someone with depression. Low energy, low motivation, and loss of appetite are common symptoms. That's why small steps are the most effective approach. Simple habits such as adding 1 serving of vegetables a day, drinking more water, replacing sugary snacks with fruit, or taking a daily walk can create meaningful change. Over time, these habits build momentum and improve both physical and emotional health. In conclusion, nutrition is a foundational element of mental health. The foods we eat influence brain chemistry, inflammation, hormone balance, gut health, energy levels, and emotional stability. A balanced, nutrient-rich diet can reduce depressive symptoms, improve resilience, and support long-term recovery. Depression may affect the mind, but healing begins with the whole body. When we nourish ourselves with healthy foods, we give our minds the strength they need to heal, rebuild, and thrive.